What is happening? Let me get this thing closer to me. What's going on, Scooter? How you doing? Oh, I don't normally do stories on the weekends, and I just wanted to see if anybody would pop in. But we will do some stories. I saw that you picked up Animal Crossing. Awesome. You little carrot nose, you little carrot nose guy. I had some stories. Let's see here. So you've been playing the heck out of it? That's on what, Switch? I'm not down with all the cool new systems. I think I'm gonna clean my desk today. That'll be good. It's almost 11 a.m. So it's not too early. I woke up a little while ago, like not too long ago. You'll advertise the stream. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I appreciate it. I really haven't been live streaming lately, and if I did, it was because I was playing Dark Souls. My computer was out for a couple days. Unfortunately, it happens. Hey, Big J. What's going on, bud? I've got a short one for you guys. It's called My Friend Has Been Playing a Nasty Trick on Me. Or at least I thought so. Getting ready for a couple water changes. Oh, there you go. It's perfect to do water changes while I'm live. You just listen and do your water changes. Well, that's great. um, well, let's uh, let's do a story. Here's the link for the story. Do 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 do. Oh shoot! I remember my control doesn't work on this side of my keyboard. Hmm. But F5 does. All right. Well, there's the story. Let's get to telling it. Hey Jay. It says, my friend has been playing a nasty trick on me. Or at least I thought so. Hey, Zen. My friend Kim is lovely. She's a tall, powerful lady with a golden heart. People find her brash, but not me. I see her good intentions. Hang on, I gotta get this all moved over. There we go. There we go. I've been friends with Kim for years. We've had kids around the same time, and she recently had her third birthday. Her and her husband recently moved to accommodate their growing family, and I haven't made it over to see their house yet. I feel terrible that I haven't visited or even met the baby, a little girl named Eliza. Her older two, Jake and Haley, are like siblings to my two. The whole family has been missing them. I think of Kim a lot, but life gets in the way. We all do it. Ignore friends that we shouldn't. We get wrapped up in what we have going on. My mind was full on work when I got the text. I had just gone through the door with groceries and I'd picked up on my way home. I saw that it was from Kim and I smiled. I put the phone down and carried on putting away my shopping, making a mental note to answer it when I was done. A family dinner, conversation with my husband, and a glass of wine later, I found myself on my sofa, remembering that my friend had tried to contact me. I pulled open the text and my heart sank. Thanks for coming to see me. It was nice to catch up. She was being sarcastic. I knew it. She was pissed that I hadn't contacted her and that brash side of her personality was coming out. I texted back immediately. I felt awful. Kim, I'm so sorry. Life's just been busy. I promise I'll come and see you soon. Can't wait to meet Eliza. I sat on it for a few hours waiting for a reply. I figured Kim was probably stewing on it, making me wait. The kids were already in bed when the phone went again. Sorry, I was bathing the baby and getting the kids settled. What are you talking about? Eliza loved you. I'm sorry about your top. I owe you a new one. Her little evil giggle after she was sick on her auntie Josie. Haha. I was now seriously confused. This wasn't Kim's usual style. What if she genuinely thought I'd been over? Was she okay? Was she suffering from some postnatal issues? I wanted to support her, but I wasn't sure how, so I texted her husband, John. John works with a truck driver overnight, as a truck driver overnight. I knew he wouldn't be home with her when I messaged. Is Kim okay? I'm a little worried about her, I asked, keeping it simple. He took a while to text back, to be expected while driving. It was late when he must have had his first chance to pull over. I was already laying in bed, but his words kept me up all night. Hey Josie, it was great to see you the other day. We all missed you. Bringing the kids over next time. Bring the kids over next time. Ours would love to see them. Kim's good, just a little tired with a new baby. Thanks for checking on her. You're a great friend. I didn't respond. It was late enough that I could pretend I was asleep and missed out without seeming rude. I laid and just thought, what if I had the problem? What if I'd been over there and forgotten? Maybe I needed to see a doctor. But the more I thought, I put into the less rational the whole situation got. I'd been at work that morning and supposedly saw her, and I could prove it. I'd gotten a parking ticket that day as my usual space wasn't free. I'd parked halfway over some double yellows by the building and been caught. The ticket was detailed how long I was there. I stopped myself. I couldn't believe I was getting that much into it. John and Kim were just playing some sort of joke. It had to be. I crashed around 5 a.m. and managed a couple of hours sleep before the kids woke me up in the morning. It was the weekend, so I had the day off and thought about the kids, taking them over to Kim's. The morning went on. After running a few errands, I became determined. I wanted to talk to her, get this cleaned up, and see my kids. Wait. And see my friend again. For real this time. I know how stressful a new baby can be, so I texted her first if it was okay. What I got back made me feel sick. Please stop contacting me. My friend Josie is sat opposite me now with her new phone, since her old one was stolen. What you're doing is creepy, and I have reported you to the police. This is beyond a joke now, and I started to get angry. So I responded accordingly. This is ridiculous. I am not sat in front of you. I'm sorry. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm trying to change that. But this joke just got a bit much now. Don't you think, Kim? I usually didn't fight her. She had such a strong personality that it wasn't worth it. But she was taking things a step too far. I just hoped that she would see how much it was getting to me and stop. I was so wrong. The next came with an image attachment. Stop it now, creep. My skin crawled as I looked at the image. My kids played loudly at my feet. It was a photo of me, sat at Kim's kitchen table with my young son on my lap, the old one. I thought at first, but I was wrong. The clothes weren't mine, and the newspaper in front of her perfectly matched one I had bought that morning. Hey guys. Let's see who we got here. Goofy Busman. Hello, Goofy Busman. Hey, Andiri. Can you be a mod? Probably not. Hey, Lauren. Did I say hey to you already? I don't know. That was a little warm-up story. I don't know if I like that one. Maybe I read it wrong. It happens. I think Dad's got some peeps to hide in my YouTube comment. I think Dad got some peeps to hide in my YouTube comments from a year ago. Well, it was supposed to be you go to Dad's comments and you comment, "Hey Alice." But what if they're truly scared of Dad? That'd be spoopy. Let's check my camera. Yeah, right there is fine. I'm good. I'm good. You know, I've been doing a lot of Dark Souls, which I'll probably do later today. But I know I haven't done stories in a while. That's what I'm doing. Oh man. The house that no one built. Why are we talking about it? My wives don't get along. The mysterious elevator took me. My baby loud. She likes. She's like another baby. No. Poor Lauren. The Reaper's Scythe. Roommates. Stop picking. Won't happen. Don't play the Psychic Knock game. The Psychic Knock game. Hmm. Hmm. Well, let's give this a shot. It's called the Psychic Knock game. Make sure I can. Never mind. I have to message him. But what? You're not gonna let me talk? I'm gonna write a message right now. Maybe he'll reply. Da 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 da. Um. Nope. Damn. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this. Can I be a mod? Yes or no? And how are you? No. And I'm good. Do I know you, Goofy Busman? um. Okay, well, that guy's probably not going to reply. Let's go back to what we were doing. Um, the Momo challenge. Mm, Momo was everywhere. Yeah, well, like a while ago. Not so much now. Yeah, it sure is. The awesome bird statue. I'm really finding crap here. Busman uploaded that Sunday. I'm so lost. Let's look at your... Huh. Looks like you got some videos. I am subscribed to you. Premiering soon. Ooh. Alright. Well, let's see if this one's free and clear. Let's give this one a read. I'll give you guys the linky link. It's what happens when the stars go out. Written by Jesse Clark. It's a longer one. We're gonna bring the pain on this one. Me specifically. Alright. The red lights are only making the pain worse. There's an immense, earth-shattering pain in my midsection and in my head. I try to move, but I can't. I try to speak, but I can't do that either. It hurts too much, and my voice obeys me no more Then do my joints, or my muscles, or my bones, or my mind. And yet still, there's a movement. I can feel myself being lifted up and placed on something. A bed, maybe, or no, a gurney. All right, one of the EMT says, and several others then roll me on to the back of the ambulance and climb in behind me. But I'm already fading fast and feeling an inexplicable heat. By the time those doors are shut, one EMT, a blonde woman, shoots me a curious little look just as I'm slipping away and says aloud, "Wait, wait, I think I know we're made of that stuff, right?" I turned around. There was a woman there, red haired, at about my age, give or take. She was alarmingly beautiful. But how long had she been staring at the exhibit alongside me? I had no idea. "I'm sorry?" I said, "You're made of that stuff, right?" She nodded at the museum wall, which depicted, in detail, the births of a life cycle and death of stars. I pursed my lips. "We're made of stars?" "Yeah, isn't it awesome?" She stepped up beside me and moved her arms across the diagram as she spoke. "I just watched a documentary about it last night. Stars are just fusion factories held together by their own gravity. They start off fusing hydrogen to helium, and then to keep going on, fusing heavier and heavier elements until they're fusing the heaviest stuff. Then they exhaust their fuel and collapse under their own weight. And they blow off their outer layers and pretty much shower the galaxy with all the random elements, some of which eventually are used to create life." "Huh?" "Yeah, I'm Robin, by the way." She extended her hand, and I shook it. Hey, Brian. Nice to meet you." There was an awkward pause before I said, "All right, I got one for you. If you replace the sun with a black hole, what would happen?" "Depends on its mass." "Nope, the answer is, drumroll please, nothing. I mean, everything would go dark and cold, but we wouldn't fall in. Earth's orbit would remain entirely unaffected." "If the black hole had the same mass as the sun." "What?" "What you said can only be true if the black hole in question happened to have the same mass as the sun, which it wouldn't because the sun isn't massive enough to collapse into a black hole." "Oh, damn." "Yep. Me 1, you 0. Sorry, pal." "All right," I said. "You're on. Whoever gets the most points by closing time buys drinks." She smiled at me and punched me in the shoulder, just light enough to not sting. "All right, loser, come." And then on. The EMT says, "There's a flurry of activity around me. There are voices too, and blinking lights, and a cooling down of that monstrous heat. One of the paramedics is looking over, and then he looks to another colleague, the blonde woman, and he shakes his head slowly. Is this the one, Rachel? But she continues running tests, running diagnostics, placing a soft hand on my arm, in case I'm awake enough to appreciate the comfort. I am barely, but I'm fading fast, and that heat is coming right back on as I do. Not yet, he's not, she says. There's a pain in her voice, and she does her fruitless best to conceal. I already lost one earlier, Todd. I'm not losing. Another one, Robin says, and I laughed and agreed, and we rushed to the back of the line. See, I told you you'd like the Ferris wheel. Can't believe you've never been on one before today. She shrugged. Never thought they were as extreme as roller coasters, so I wasn't interested. Well, they're not supposed to be extreme. Ferris wheels are made for all the parents waiting on their kids and the sick people trying to relax their stomachs so they don't puke funnel cake all over the pavement. And adorable young couples, apparently. And just when we were waved into the next seat, we sat ourselves down, and moments later, the great wheel began to groan and protest, finally to turn. It dragged our cart around its underside and then lifted it up, up to the top of its crest. There we could see the whole city at twilight, and the ships in the harbor that were backlit red with the setting sun, and the clouds that were lined at the tops with just a little bit of starlight. Robin snuggled up next to me. And put her head on my shoulder, and I put my arm on around her waist. For a moment, I could have sworn the empty seat in front of us move on its own and furrowed my brow. But then Robin spoke. Y'all got it. Thank you for being here with me, she said. I didn't respond with words. I just kissed her on the head and held her tight as the wheel began taking us down on the 1800 block of Gandersale, one of the EMTs says. Yeah, another one, I know. Hell, it's a fucking night, isn't it? The conversation is muffled again in short order. I'm drifting in and out, but the jostling of the room and the sound of the engine tell me that we're still in the ambulance. The other paramedics, for their part, continue running tests and checking my vitals. And as they work, I try to remember what happened. But it hurts. Damn it, does it hurt? Almost as much as the rushing heat and the effort is further disrupted when the ambulance hits a bump in the road, and I nearly spill out on the gurney. But Rachel puts her steadying hand on my chest and says, Hang in there, Brian. We're almost there. Robin pointed to the interstate ramp, and I took the turn and put St. Thomas Vineyard away in the rear view. Still can't believe Mason got married, I said. He's only known that girl for what? A year? Less? Robin shrugged. They were in love. They barely knew each other. They don't know if whatever they're feeling is genuine. Lifelong love or just relationship googly eyes that hasn't worn off yet. I guarantee it. I put money on this. They'll be done within a year, just watch. You don't know that, she said. There was a brief pause, and then she added, We've been dating for 2 years. So? So, how far off do you think we are? I shrugged. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. You haven't thought about it at all? I mean, of course I've thought about it. I just, I don't know if we're ready, you know? I looked over at her, and she just stared out at the rain with her chin in her palm, so I continued. Think about it like this: people prepare their whole lives for jobs, right? They start going to school as soon as they talk, and they're not done until they're in their 20s. And it's all they can get a piece of paper that says, hey, hire my ass, I'm smart enough to work. But marriage, nobody trains for that shit. People just hook up and say, hey, we're 25 or 28, you're cute, I'm cute. Let's spend $15,000 on a giant ceremony and then live as glorified roommates for 5 years until we're both fat and hate each other and get a divorce because neither one of us knew or cared how much work this thing would require. There was a longer pause then, before she said, with a degree of seriousness I wasn't in the least bit prepared for. Is this what you think we're headed for? Glorified roommates? You guys. Quickly, I calculated an avenue of retreat, but I calculated wrong. No, not you, I said. Not us. I mean, most people, you know. Most people just dive in, either get divorced or stick it out till someone gets heart disease. The divorce rate is more than 50% in the US. But the I don't love you anymore rate, shit, that's probably close to 90 by the time everyone hits middle age. I just want to make sure that you're the right person, you know? If there ever were words I wish I could have taken back, it were those 12. She said nothing, but I saw her reflection in the window and the little tear that welled up in the corner of her eye said more than words ever could. Listen, that came out. I just mean, can you drop me off at my car, please? I thought you wanted to come over. I don't feel good. Please. We drove in silence for a while as the rain picked up its pace and fell in sheets and torrents. After another 20 minutes, I made my turn onto my street and parked. And once I did, she got out without so much of a glance, walked across the road to her own car. I ran to follow. Robin, wait! I grabbed her lightly by the arm. I was slick with rainwater. Talk to me, please. What do you want? I blinked. I want you to talk to me. No, I mean with us. Where do you want to go? Where do I want this to go? I want to be with you. Listen, I didn't mean to imply that I don't want that. I just want us to be smart about it, you know? Well, maybe love isn't something you can calculate on a fucking spreadsheet, Brian. She was shouting over the cacophony of the storm. Maybe this is just. Maybe it's just this thing you feel, you know? And maybe it doesn't make any damn logical sense. Because it's not supposed to. But that's part of what makes it special. It's an adventure. It's a jump off a cliff with me type of thing. And yeah, sure, not everyone survives the fall, I guess. But if you find the right person, then a jump off the cliff with me type of adventure. Come on, Robin. We're not writing a damn dating website profile here. This is real life. There are kids involved in finances. and house buying and mortgages and all that shit. Not every day is some cute little romance comedy. It's half of your life we're talking about, 2/3 even, okay? All I mean was that you have to be prepared for it. I thought you were prepared. I thought we were prepared. What do you mean? She dug through her purse for a moment and then held up a ring that was brilliant even when covered in the rain. I felt my heart skip at least a full beat. Is that, This was my mom's, she said. She gave it to me before she died. She said, find your partner in crime, Robin. I found someone, Find someone who'll sweep you off your feet and jump off a cliff with you. There was a pause before she added. And at that time she said it, I thought I knew exactly who that person was. I tried for a moment, but I knew, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that there was no combination of words in this English language that could be strung together to right this ship. Goodbye, Brian. She kissed me on the cheek and rubbed the back of her hand down it. And then she turned and got into her Civic and drove off until I couldn't see her taillights through the pouring of the rain. Coming down hard, boys. Another one of the EMTs said, careful when you unload 'em. There were grunts of acknowledgement, and the back of the ambulance flew open and the sound of the storm utterly exploded onto it. I felt the rush of the wind, the rain pelting my skin in sheets, and together they helped a bit with the oncoming heat that I still couldn't place. And then I felt movement. The gurney dipped and hit pavement while the paramedics held me down. And then there were shouts and lights and running feet and the hospital door. Open, I shouted. The man behind the counter shot me a look. But I shouted it again, over the sound of the rainfall and through the glass. I said, are you open? And then he pointed at the sign saying the opposite. I went back to reading it, but I wasn't taking no for an answer. I dug out my wallet and pulled a 20 from the fold and slapped it flat against the glass. Within the second, paper was soaked with rainwater. Within seconds, the paper was soaked with rainwater. But I got his attention, and he rolled his eyes and the door clicked in word and slid open. Make it quick, man. I know, I will. Thank you so much. I ran down the aisles, and then, true to my word, made it back to the counter in less than a minute. The man put down his book and proceeded to process the sale. Hello, Hedden. Date night, he said, as he bagged the card after the flowers. I smiled a bit. Something like that. And then I thanked him and ran back out to my car. I got inside and took out the card and scribbled on its inner sleeve the words, jump off a cliff. With me, the doctor running alongside the cart, motioned to some nurses in the hall, and they ran to follow. He turns to the EMTs. Is he stable? He's slipping, heart rate's falling, breathing slowing, not good. Mumbled something about being too hot earlier, but if anything, his temperature's too low. Someone show the doctor a chart. He read it as he runs. His face is grim. Shit, all right, he says. Let's move. I shouted at the car I'm passing. Just a little rain, assholes. But it wasn't. It's a lot of rain. Sheets and buckets and torrents of it, in fact. I had long since turned the dirt to mud and swept up against the windshield like ocean surf. And the road was slick with little rivers of it that ran down past the pebbles. I was going far. I was going far too fast for such conditions. But I didn't care about that, the doctor said. I just want to get his fluids up, Rachel. The woman from the ambulance runs up and discusses my condition in a harsh whisper with the doctor as I fade. And as the damn heat floods on back in, it becomes impossible to hear what they're saying. But it's abundantly clear from the body language that she hasn't given up hope for a reunion with these guys. Well, Bolin and the Snakes say that they're against it entirely, so that doesn't bode well. But on the other hand, Sebastian said on multiple occasions that he's willing to do it for the fans. And look what happened with Guns N' Roses a few years ago. Nobody would have thought they'd get back together. I switched off the radio and then wrapped both hands around the wheel with such force the knuckles turned white on the grip. The car hit 70 miles per hour, 75, 79. The windshield wipers were flying, but they weren't going fast in. Fuck! I slammed my foot on the brakes as the lights and activity in the road came in out of nowhere from the rain. The car jolted and stuttered and fought for traction on the pavement. And I felt the tires squeal and the metal of the car grind in protest. I don't care if he wants to protest, the doctor snaps back. You tell him to wait in the damn lobby like everyone else. The nurse accepts her orders and heads back into the hallway. I'm sorry, sir, she says. You can't see him until what? That's my son in there. That's my son. That's... And then there's a scuffle of feet and more shouts as a security guard drags a father from the wing. Rachel pauses as she hears the shouts, and then her eyes well up a bit with tears, and she looks at my face and appears to realize something. But she doesn't say what. The shouts continue, but they fade, and so do I. And in comes the heat as I do. That's my son, Dad says. That's my boy. Let me see my boy. Stop, please. Stop. The police officers, both hands on my car, barreled towards him. Stop! Stop the car! Finally, there was a jolt and a stutter as the tires gained control at last, and the car slammed to a halt. Both the officer and I sighed in relief. And then the approach of my window and tapped the glass with his knuckle. I lowered it. I shouted over the rain, I'm sorry, sir. Roads are crazy out there. You okay? He ignored the question. I'm gonna need you to sit there for a bit, okay? He said. Just until the accident's cleaned up. Accident? It's back. He nodded in the direction of the wreckage. And then he said it again. Just sit tight. I'll wave you through when there's an open lane. And then he ran off into the storm. I scanned the scene. There was a man on the side of the road I saw, sitting on the pavement with a poncho for the rainfall, and his head in his hands. His SUV was totaled. The front end was bent and twisted and hideously mangled. But the other car was in far, far worse shape than that. I squinted hard. I can only make out the panels of white amidst the charred black chunks of metal and the force of rain. But it was enough. It was a Civic. Oh God, no, 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 no. I got out of the car and left the door hanging open in the rain. And then I ran forward, at least until the officer caught sight of me and ran back over and grabbed my shoulders. Hey, he said, I told you to wait in the car if you... Robin! I shouted over him, Robin! And then I saw a fleeting glimpse of movement. A white sheet
flipped on a gurney. A strand of red hair fell from the right side and hung there as the EMTs carted away the body. "Robin," I screamed. "That's my girl, that's my girl." The officer was confused and stunned and did the only thing that he could think, drag me back to my car. "No, stop!" I was inconsolable, but it was in no shape at all to resist. "Stop, please, that's my girl." "Let me see my girl, please stop." One of the EMTs, covered in blood from the waist up, turned and looked at the spectacle. But then someone shouted her name. "Rachel," the doctor says, "you with us? Or what? Let's go." She blinks as she stares at me and then said, Yeah, sorry, I just realized that guy was. Just get the charcoal, please. We don't have time." And she does. She runs off to fetch exactly that. And then I feel a hideously invasive sensation. A tube is being placed in my nose, and then I feel it falling down my throat. I'm too weak to gag, but I somehow manage to clench my fist. A nurse sees the movement, then holds me down to steady me. "Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, you okay, man?" My roommate stumbled back as I threw open the door and I charged past him. "You coming in hot," he said. "You good, bro?" But I ignored him. I went to the bathroom. I leaned up against the sink for a long moment and grabbed my temples and set my jaw and sobbed without a sound. Aching, racking, heavy sobs. I heard a knock. "Hey, man," he said. "You good, dude? Anything I can, get for you, or?" "I'm fine," I managed. I wasn't convincing in the slightest, but I didn't care. I opened my phone. There was a text from Robin there, from this morning. It read, "I love you," and that they were all once the most beautiful and most painful words I had ever read. "I love you." "I love you too. I'm coming. Hang on, baby. I'm coming." Then I blacked out. I found my dad on the contact list and typed, "I love you, Dad." Didn't back out. I backed out. I'm sorry. Then I backed out and found my dad on the contact list and typed, "I love you, Dad." Moments later, I got a response. "I love you too, son. You okay?" But I ignored it. Then I threw open the cupboard and grabbed an old bottle of pills, the nurse said. "Swallowed the whole damn thing." Lucky his roommate called it in when he did. But the doctor's incredulous. "Well, that remains to be seen now, doesn't it?" Then he turns to the door. "Rach," as she pushes it open with her elbow before he finishes. I got it, I'm here." "All right," he says. "Fingers crossed, people. Let's see if we can save this psycho." There's an isolated chuckle, Rachel, though almost snaps her superior for the insult. But then someone says, "Here we go." And then there's a thick, wretched black stuff funneling down the tube and down my throat. I'm almost desperate enough, but not quite strong enough to resist it. I can feel it sliding and hitting bottom, and pumping and pulsing. My heart rate is erratic. My breath is erratic. My ability to comprehend the situation is every bit as erratic. I struggle as much as I can against the restraints, but all of my effort and all of my strength of my arms muster up not more than the faintest whimper. But Rachel hears it. She moves to my side and she holds my head and says in a soft enough to whisper that I can only hear, "Don't follow her, Brian. Don't Follow her. Please, Jesus. I need him here. I need this to win. I need this win. Sorry. But I begin to fade all the same, one by one, as the spikes on the EKG slow to sporadic pulses. I see the nurse turn to each other and shake their heads, one by one, that is, until there's only a trembling Rachel there, and she's holding on for me tight enough for everyone in the room. Call it, the doctor says, just as the darkness swirls in and it feels like I'm starting to fall away. The conversation carries as I pass. 2:32 a.m., one nurse says, but I can hear Rachel screaming in protest. No, he's not gone. He's still time. There's still time. There's still time to save him. There's still... But she's wrong. I'm already gone. Her voice and her face, those things behind me as I pass, they're fading away into the darkness that's consuming me and swallowing me whole and throwing me to the winds. And just then the magnitude of the situation dawns on me. Then comes the heat. There are monstrous amounts of it. It rips and tears and scorches and scalds. And I had the ability to scream out or even breathe. I would have done so until my throat was hoarse. But then there's a new pain, a different pain. A hand reaches down out of the blackness and grabs my left side forearm with such a mighty force that the resulting pain eclipses that of the heat, and the nails of the hand rip right through the flesh. And then I'm being pulled, and there's a rushing wind, and the cool and refreshing, beautiful, and suddenly I'm somewhere else entirely. I blinked. The darkness was gone. The heat with it. And that sensation of being devoured. Instead, those things had been replaced with starlit clouds as far off in every direction as the eye could see. But my arm stung like hell, and the same. I looked at it. They were nail marks I saw, 4 deep cuts beneath the inner wrist, and the 5th on the side in the shape of a hand. They bleed a bit, and then I heard in an all too familiar voice, "You okay?" I stood up slowly and I turned, holding my damned stinging arm while I did it, and said, "Robin? What was that? The darkness and the heat and the..." "It's where you would have spent your entirety, Brian, had I not pulled you out." I had no words. I had no words other than the weakest. "Thanks." "You know," she said, holding her own arm, "suicide is not exactly what I meant by jumping off a cliff." I blinked again and took a long, deep breath. Yeah, I guess I didn't think things through. Not sure why you fully realized how much of an understatement that is. Well, maybe I don't. But you know what? I'd do it again, Robin. I'm serious. She nearly rolled her eyes, but I doubled down on the sentiment. What I said out there on the street, I'm sorry. I meant it. I'm sorry. You were right. Love isn't about taxes or headaches or just tolerating each other until we're in our 70s. It's just like your mom said. It's about sweeping the girl off her feet and about jumping over cliffs with someone and not knowing where you'll land and not caring as long as you're there together. And if this is where we land, wherever this is, I'm okay with that. And I leaned over for a kiss. It's a long one, guys. But she stopped me with her hand before it landed, and I opened my eyes. I can tell you've been working on that speech for a while, she said, over and over again in my head, in the car until I got to the scene of the wreck. I looked at the ground and then back up at her, and I realized right then that you fucking left the earth itself, then I would too. So there I was wrong too, she cut me off. What do you mean? About love, I was wrong. My mother was wrong. It's not just about crap you see in rom-coms and greeting cards, Brian. Again, I blinked. I know that. I know it's something you feel in your heart that defies logic and reason. Not something you can put on a spreadsheet, like you said earlier. She sighed a bit and said, "Can I show you something?" I guess so, sure. And then she took my hand, and infinity rolled out and faded back out, and all of a sudden, we were somewhere else entirely. Are we on the Ferris wheel? Yep. Turn around. And I did. There we were, past Robin and past me, on the seat above and behind us. I remember like it was yesterday. We were staring out at the whole city, at the twilight, and the ships in the harbor. There was a backlit red and the setting sun and the clouds that were lined at the tops with just a little bit of starlight. I rustled in my seat a bit, and it moved. Past me, I saw what looked like he was about to speak, but before he did, past Robin said, "Thank you for being here with me," and got a kiss on the head. "What do you see?" Robin said. "Us a year ago, and change. I remember that day like it was yesterday. Your mom had just died. So I took you there to get your mind off things. You did. That was the first day in months I had truly felt safe and truly at peace. That was love. I know it was, and I still love you. Just the kind of love," she said, cutting me off again, "that's absolutely beautiful when it lasts. But I can show you something else." Okay, yeah. She took my hand again, and again infinity itself rolled out, like the tide, and then we were somewhere else. The hospital. It looked like St. Joseph's. "What do you see here?" I looked around. Nurses coming up and down the hallway, doctors reviewing notes and talking to their patients. I don't know, a hospital? She nodded in the directions of a particular room. "Look in there." So I did. There was a woman on the cot. She was emaciated and hairless and deathly frail. And the doctors inside were shutting off the last of the machines. "A dying woman," I said. "Looks like cancer." "Yep." "What about there?" I looked down. There was a nurse crowded down in front of the same door, talking to a girl, 8 or 9 years old, if I had to guess. in silly voices, and the girl had been crying. But the nurse managed to make her smile a bit, even as her mother died on the other side of the door. Looks like the nurse is comforting a little girl. That's right, Robin said. And that little girl will remember that nurse for the rest of her life, even if they never meet again so much as exchange names. As the lady as the lady who came to her in the darkest hour and made her smile, she turned to me. That's love too, just as beautiful and precious as what we had. What's your point? She didn't answer. She just stuck her hand with a sad smile. She shook she stuck her she stuck out her hand with a sad smile and looked at it. Jesus, we'll get there. Infinity faded in and back out the third time. Then we were in a waiting room. All right. See that? Robin pointed to the corner of the room, and I squinted. Oh yeah, that's what's Dylan doing over there? He called the ambulance when you didn't come out of the bathroom, she said. He knew something was wrong, and when they drove off, he followed them here. Been standing here ever since, asking for information on you every time the nurse walks by. He's starting to annoy them. I watched my roommate for a bit. Sure enough, he grabbed a nurse and asked her a question that I couldn't hear. She said something pleasantly dismissive, and he nodded and then leaned his head back down against the wall and closed his eyes. Wow, I had no idea he cared that much. That's love too, Brian. Would you do the same for him? But she held out her hand again before I could answer and took it. And for a fourth time, Infinity blinked. And then I was in the emergency room, looking down on myself. I was covered in vomit and charcoal and pills, but I was still too deathly still. Most of the nurses and the doctors were still walking out of the door, but Rachel wasn't. She was crying openly now and making no effort to hide it. She reached for something. A needle, it looked like, or a syringe. What's she doing? You'll see soon enough, Robin said. But that's also love. She held out her hand again and said, one more, and took it. And then we were in the parking lot of the same place. The rain was coming down harder than ever. Turn around, Robin said, and I did. And I stopped. There were no words. It was my father in his car. He was holding a Bible up to his chest with both hands. He was crying in a way that no child should ever see their father cry. And that there, Robin said, that's the kind of love that can move mountains. I put my hand against the window. He didn't seem to notice. He can't see you, Brian. Not from there. I wiped my eyes and the back of my hand. Okay, I said, I get it. I fucked up. And then she released my hand, and all of a sudden, we went back to the clouds again. Under the stars, I wiped another tear before it fell. So now what? It's too late for me to go back down there. I'm already gone. Robin took another step forward. She said, maybe not. As she put her hand on my temple, my eyes rolled back. And then I saw it. Lay down, baby. Rachel and I are on a bench. Our child is playing out in the surf, and the sun hits her hair just right. And for a moment, it's made of gold. And then the image fades, and another one takes place. A birthday party. I have silver hair at my temples. Rachel does too. But it doesn't matter. Our little girl's turning 10. And then the image fades. It's replaced by another, and another, and another. Each one yielding another moment where someone loved someone else. Enough for it to break the clouds and be seen forever, even if the moment itself lasted only a heartbeat. Finally, there's an image of Rachel and myself on a porch, and we're old. She holds my hands and says, I'm glad I didn't follow you. I'm glad you didn't follow her. And I say back, me too. And I kiss her on the head. And then Robin pulls back her hand. And there we are again, standing out in the clouds together. How did you do that? I asked. She shrugged. Time has nearly no meaning in this place. I've been here for a while, Brian, and yet the doctors haven't even left your operating room. Don't think too much about it. Just think about what you want. That, I said. Was that my future? She shrugged again. Could be. I don't know what you saw, and I don't need to know. Was it enough? I nodded, and she stepped forward again and said, then go and get it. I'll miss you too damn much. Well, there's nothing wrong with missing someone, she said. That just means love lasted a little longer than what ignited it. So go ahead and miss me. You owe me that much. Feel the loss. Stand up to the storm like a man and memorize the pain. And learn it inside and out. And let it roll over you in waves and run its course. And then one day you'll wake up and realize you have scar tissue where the skin used to be, and you'll be stronger than the grief ever was. I can tell you've been working on this speech for a while. Like I said, I've been here a while. And then she kissed me one last time. And for the briefest moments, all the little scars and cuts and scrapes and nicks in my heart were filled up and made whole. And she said, you've made up of star stuff, kid. Now go and light up the world. And then she was gone. Rachel, okay? I'm not going to tell you again. But I shot upright before the doctor could finish the thought. I gasped for air. And when I did, I grabbed at my chest with more strength than I had in hours. There was a needle in it and a bolt of light to the heart. Rachel broke down in tears when she saw me. Well, I'll be damned, the doctor said. Welcome back to the land of the living, son. And Rachel, she turned around. Good work, kid. Make me proud. And he left, and she turned back to me and tried to hide the smile while she did it. Hey there, how you feeling? Better than dead. There was a pause before I added, hey, I'm glad you got your win. She took my hand and squeezed it. For a moment she paused when she saw a scar below the wrist that looked like the result of fingernails dragging through flesh. But then she dismissed it, and I said, I am too, and you'll get yours, okay? I promise you will. I said, I know. And with that, she got up and left the room to go save someone else's life, while I took out my phone and opened the most recent text and hit reply. Am now. That was kind of a hard one to follow. Yeah, not really, but that was a long one. It was pretty, but it wasn't so much a spoopy pasta. And I think the doggo wants to go outside. Yeah, that's not really a creepy pasta, but you fell asleep. I don't blame you. Let me go wick the dig. She, she, no. I don't want her barking. Let me walk her, okay, guys. So let me put on some music and let her go nuts. I'll be right back. I'm about to turn down that music. What's going on, guys? Sorry if y'all didn't like that. That's just the one the story machine popped out for me. Had the highest rating.
some cooking, you hairy biker. I really don't care if they make fun of me. Let's see if I know these people. Yeah. You guys are too vicious. What does this guy say? Oh yeah. Bloody Dr. Shriff. Oh well. Whatever. How's everybody doing out there? Yeah. They can win all they want. Won't make it so. So I think I might do some Chappy junk stream tonight. Harry Bikers is just a cooking show in the UK. It's a compliment, to be honest. They make good food. I don't make good food. I guess I can if I need to. Yeah, I think a Chappy junk stream is in order tonight. I don't know how you guys feel about that. The 6 of you that are left. I think there's 6 of you. Yeah. I am so much Animal Crossing debt. Wait, what? Just because you've been playing it a lot? Wow, that seems to be a very popular game. Let's do some Burt's Bees. Mm-hmm. Burt's Bees. It's delicious. You have to pay your house? What? That doesn't make any sense. My hair's being floofy. Damn hair. I should cut it off. It's like a virtual mortgage payer thing for your house. It's preparing kids for the future. I mean, how do you? I don't know. Right on, I guess. Yeah, homeboy never messaged me back. You gonna eat? You'll be back? No worries. I am looking for stories. Yeah, that says estimated reading time 21 minutes. Jesse Clark. That's who wrote that story. I gotta start getting in good with these authors so they can send me their stories. That's what I gotta do. Maybe if I just started reading stories more regularly. uh, I told myself I was gonna stop ordering Uber Eats, but that's what I'm about to do. After this one, probably. I gotta go to the grocery store and get groceries. But they make it so easy. So easy. I could order a pizza. Oh, I haven't done Pizza Hut in a while. That's what I want. Some mediocre pizza for me. Yeah. Contactless delivery. And I can get beer. Overpriced beer from them. Yeah, I'm not a robot. Bicycles. 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 I want to find a bicycle. Alright, let's see here. Pizza. Wait, I think they had deals. Stuffed crust. Yeah, we'll do a stuffed crust. We'll give that a shot. And continue. Continue. Pepperoni. Because of course. An Italian sausage. Or yeah, Italian sausage and mushrooms. Bam. $11.99. Hell yeah. Oh, I can order Bud Light for a 12-pack for 15 bucks. That's so expensive. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to get Pepsi. Pepsi. Oh, Corona's more expensive. That's $18.99. Michelob Ultra, what I would drink, is $16.99. Oh, I should almost do that. Is anybody out there still? I mean, I don't know. Hello? Hello? I'm not gonna lie, sort of one beer. Nobody's saying a word. We're gonna, yeah, I'm older. I'm gonna try the beer. We're gonna see how that goes. I should remove the Pepsi. I'm not gonna do it though. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Do you receive extra deals or promotions? Sure. All right. I haven't used my card in so long. Anybody out there? Hello, 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 hello. Um. Oh, I don't remember my mailing. My mailing. 75023. Oh yeah, that should do it. Oh yeah, that's a different card. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, let's just do Apple Pay. Wait. This is a pain in the ass. Um, let's see if that worked. All right. I just spent way too much on pizza, but I got beer too, so we're gonna give that a shot. And we're gonna turn off notifications. So it looks like nobody's alive. So there's that. So I might have killed everybody. Um, let's. All right. Well, um, I had people for a little while. I guess I lost them, but that's fine. Um, yeah, I guess we're gonna go off. I'll probably stream again later. Hey, Dark Fruit. Um, yeah, we'll play some Drunk Souls or do a Chappy Drunk stream. I don't know, something fun. Let me get this 12 pack in me. I'll probably be nice and toasty. You got me on the TV? Oh Lord. What is that? Can you move that over a little bit? um. Anyways, so yeah, I think I'm gonna go off for a little bit. Um, I will stream again later, guys. Yes. I'm gonna eat some pizza and drink some burr, and then I don't know. Yeah. So, anyways, I love you guys, and I want you to stay creepy and all that good jazz. And until next time, bye. I've actually have a load of ornaments in front of the TV, and you were pointing at one. That's funny.